What's up YouTube? It's Eli Hybrid or Elijah, and today I'm training legs. This is also day two of my training for my calisthenics battle, where I'll be putting a 1v1 against someone trying to beat them in an endurance set. Right now I'm doing skipping. The set includes burpees and squats. I'm not really fussed about that, since I don't neglect two things that gym bros hate most: cardio and legs. But anyways, back to the video. I'm actually eager to show you my workout, since I feel like people don't understand how versatile your training can actually be, especially when it comes to legs. Like, people forget that you can actually train legs more than just hypertrophy and trying to look proportionate to your physique. You can train it athletically, functionally, and I know a lot of people believe functional strength doesn't exist, but it's more so strength in everyday activities. So flexibility and mobility will help you to be able to do sports such as football, basketball, even just feeling like comfortable walking. So even these vertical squats are a good example. I'm doing these as opposed to barbell squats because my upper back was a little bit fatigued before I even started my workout. So I thought, let me give that a break and let me do this set instead. This was my first time doing this exercise, so I did one set with just the bar by itself just to get used to the movement pattern. Then I did 2 sets with 15 kg both sides, and then that's when I started to up the weight from there. And just to backtrack a little bit, I did my warm-up, which was stretches, hip flexor exercises, and then just skipping as well. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. When I was doing the skipping, I actually felt a little bit heavier, so the skipping took a little bit longer than expected. But it was weird because endurance-wise, I felt good. Like, I wasn't running out of breath too quickly, but it was more so I just felt heavier. So I saved 3 rounds, but it was more so 4 or 5, just until my body actually warmed up and I felt a bit more explosive. But yeah, at this point of doing the squats, this is when I started to realize how demanding the exercise actually is. But wait, we gotta check out the leg pump real quick. This is proof I actually do hit legs. I just like to wear baggy shorts. Think of it like a permanent pump cover. But back to what I was saying, it was at this point that my legs started to feel heavy and the weight just felt immense. Especially on the unracking and re-racking process, it was starting to hurt me more than I felt like the benefit in my legs. This is down to me not doing my research and not understanding how to place the bar properly on my forearms, or more so the in-betweens of my elbow. I mean, you know what I mean, the inside of my forearms, pretty much, in between my biceps. I was meant to do it on the outside of my arms. Another thing I didn't do right was my bracing, so my breathing. And how I knew I did it wrong was because after one of my sets, I actually felt a little bit lightheaded. And I think it happened prior to these weights, so I think that made me a bit more hesitant when trying to attempt it. Like, look at me, I was about to call it quits. But I ended up going anyways because I realized my legs weren't actually that fatigued, but it was more so the soreness in my arms that were disturbing me. Also, it felt difficult to unrack the weight and actually hold it whilst doing the squats, but I got the job done anyway. I did go back down to 70 kg. I did this as a way to just solidify the gain. So when I do a 120 squat again, I'm able to do it for 3 to 5 reps. But before getting to the squats, I actually did this hold just to solidify my bracing and learn to gauge my core during the exercise. And when I finished with that, that's when I realized I was holding the bar incorrectly, which led to me getting these scars here. And now I'm doing some Bulgarian squats. Right now I'm just working on some unilateral strength, as well as just focusing on building up my quads. It was at this point I went off script, and for some reason I decided to try and do Bulgarian split squat jumps. But then I stopped as soon as I realized I didn't know how to do them properly, so I ended up watching a video and then doing it for a superset. For me, I've learned that I need to include plyometrics or things that make me work on my mobility a bit more. And this comes down to me just trying to be active still. So I do my runs, I do boxing, I even do a bit of roller skating. And I've noticed that if I just do straight machine work and hypertrophy work, then my legs become less mobile, especially since I've already filled up my frame for my height. And that even leads me onto a point that's not really talked about enough, or questioned rather. Why do people get complacent once they've already filled out their frames? And what I mean by this is that if you already built up a good physique, you've been doing a lot of good conditioning, and you're looking proportionate to your height, and you're satisfied with how you look in clothes, Why do people just feel the need to like basically stop, or they end up bulking and then going on a cut again? I understand it's to pack on more muscle, but eventually most people get bored of just training the same way and then they end up falling off. That's why I feel like at a certain point you should change up your training style. Make it adapt to what you really like, to be fair. Like, I hear a lot of people that like to play football, or they do play football occasionally, but they don't do any training that will benefit them to be better at the sport. They say things like they're not able to play the same as they were when they were younger. And I'm just saying, well, that's because you don't do any mobility work over the years. If you're not moving, you're obviously going to lose mobility. You're not going to be as flexible or as strong in certain positions. Another thing that I know people tell me to take into account is that a lot of people don't have a lot of time or make a lot of time for hobbies outside of just basic fitness and keeping in shape, which I totally understand. You're working a lot of people are busy and stuff, or they feel like it's too demanding to be constantly looking after their body after a certain point. But all I'm saying is that you can change up the way you train. In the same amount of time you used to work on just your physique alone, you can put some of that into working on how to move better and feel better. But let me know your thoughts in the comments about this. But yeah, right now I'm doing calf raises. I find this better than just doing standing calf raises for some reason. I feel like I can maintain the tension a bit better. And whenever I do standing calf raises, I just feel most of the pressure in my Achilles heel instead of my actual calves. When it comes to calves, I try to have the mentality of I'm training my upper body, so do something heavy, but then really push it when it comes to like drop sets and really push on those last reps. And this was the last exercise I did before moving on to the landmine press for core. I made sure to do some leg curls before this, but I didn't record them, and I moved straight onto this landmine press. The landmine press is something I'm trying to work on a bit more, just because it's very versatile. So right now I'm using it to work on my rotation, and it's pretty good, to be fair. It's a bit more challenging, makes you focus on being stable a bit more. And before I added weight, I made sure to just do the movement alone with just the barbell. A lot of these drills I got from an influencer named Shax, and he literally preaches about this machine a lot and talks about how versatile it is, essential it is for athletes, and I'm only starting to grasp the concept of it now. Like, especially here, my shoulders were already pre-fatigued from Monday's push session, and just holding it up was insane. And that was my workout finish. But before I left, I decided to test out the bag, practice on kicks. So this is where you can see that I used to do taekwondo, but my mobility's gone, so I can't kick as high as I used to. But some of the technique is still there, which is good. And here's me wrapping up the session by doing a quick physique check. It's safe to say that I've reached anime physique level. The goal is to be moving like Baki Hanma, look like a bodybuilder, fight like an MMA fighter, be acrobatic like a gymnast, and overall move freely like a hybrid. Catch you later.